confusing now. Hold on.
So at 6 o'clock, I call the special meeting of the governing body of the city of Blanco to order. Roll call.
Mayor Lumpy,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Barron, present. Councilmember McClellan,
Present.
Councilmember Smith,
Here.
Councilmember Thurko,
Here.
Councilmember Devine. Here.
Great, thank you. Please stand for the pledge.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We are going to move on to announcements. I just want to let everybody know that a new page has been added to our city website for the City of Blanco Highway 281 Task Force. We will continue to work diligently and be transparent with the process. The Blanco High School will be having its homecoming week next week. The parade will take place on Wednesday at 6 and the game against Comfort on Friday at 7:30. Go Panthers. Lights Out Texas campaign is back for the full bird migration, which will be between August 15th and November 30th. Citizens are encouraged to turn off non-essential outdoor lighting from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. for the birds. The Aging Well at Home program will take place at Gym of the Hills on August 31st from 12:30 to 1:30. The next Reading Between the Wines program will be on September 7th from 5:30 to 7 at the Blanco Library. The Buggy Barn Museum in Pine Moore Town will be hosting their annual Law Enforcement and First Responders Appreciation Ceremony on September 10th at 11 a.m.
It was September 10th.
Yes, it's a Saturday, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going to move on to the public comments. First, we have Pastor Carlos Floyd.
Thank you. Pastor Carlos Floyd, Blanco United Baptist Church. Thank you for having me and those who are here to speak to you. Just wanted to mention just a comment about the vape store that's going to go in right next door to our church. And it's simply location, location, location. We support small businesses and we encourage this council to support small businesses. Thank you. But it's the location. Our church has been at that location since 1883. We've seen changes, and we've had to change the front of our church to the back of the church and the back to the front. We've seen the highway move. We've had a convenience store there, which they were good neighbors. But considering a vape store that would be right next door to our church, our playground, another church beside us, and the Catholic Church across the street, and as well as the state park, is a concern. We have in this community discovered that we have an issue with vaping in our high school, in our schools, in our children, junior high. We've started a program called COACT, which addressed that abuse, and it's a big concern. We've encouraged the community to help us and support the abuse of alcohol, marijuana, and vaping. And it's a big issue here in this community. To have a vape store, especially when you cross the bridge right there first thing, and that's all they sell, is a concern. And so we just want to speak, it's location, location, location. Even though the ordinance might be new, common sense, right and wrong. Even before Moses received the law, there were things that were right and wrong. There were still, murder was murder even before it was defined as such. And I think it's common sense that it's not a good thing to have a store exclusively selling vape products in a location where we will have children and youth. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Kat Stoss.
Thank you. My name is Kat Stoss. I'm a parent and also an educator and a member of the Blanco United Methodist Church. Having an e-cigarette retailer next door to my church is concerning. The high density of retail nicotine outlets normalizes vaping for kids and may also increase their access to nicotine-containing products. Research shows that e-cigarettes are predominantly marketed to teens. Will the proposed retailer post signs advertising nicotine-containing products visible to the outside so teens can see them? E-cigarette retailers will typically begin selling THC-containing products if and when marijuana for recreational use is legalized in Texas. According to the 2021 National Youth Tobacco Survey, 22% of youth e-cigarette users report obtaining e-cigarettes from a vape shop or tobacco shop in the past month, and 17.7% from a gas station or convenience store, which we have plenty of already here that sell them. What steps will the business owner take to ensure minors are not purchasing nicotine-containing products? Research also shows that making obtaining tobacco products as inconvenient, difficult, and expensive as possible for kids reduces both the number of kids who try or regularly use tobacco products. The decision to allow another nicotine retailer to promote and sell their products in Blanco is not in the best interest of the health of our local youth. Are the owners of the new nicotine retailer willing to partner with the Coalition on the Awareness and Treatment of Substance Abuse, or COAP, to help keep Blanco youth healthy? Thank you.
Thank you. Susan Moore?
Mayor, City Council, as a citizen of Blanco, I think it's unwise to have the sale of tobacco products, vape shop, electronic smoking devices, or related accessories to be located close to schools, churches, public parks, playgrounds in the city of Blanco. This location is next to a church with a playground, across the street from another church, and at the entrance to a state park. These products are harmful to our youth. Our children should not be exposed to the sale of these products during their normal daily activities. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. We are going to move on to the proclamation. So this is a proclamation authorizing recognition of September as the City of Blanco Preparedness Month. Whereas the state of Texas historically leads the nation in the number of federally declared disasters, be they natural disasters, technological and human caused. And whereas Preparedness Month is an opportunity for the City of Blanco to inform and educate the residents, businesses, and schools in the City of Blanco to be more prepared for developing the capabilities needed to prevent, protect against, respond to, recover from, and mitigate against all threats and hazards. And whereas preparedness is a national priority with the goal of shared safety and resilience. And whereas it is important for all City of Blanco residents, businesses, schools, and organizations to develop emergency plans. And whereas personal, business, and private sector preparedness may serve to mitigate the impacts of various incidents, emergencies, and disasters in the City of Blanco area. And whereas all City of Blanco residents are encouraged to make emergency planning and preparedness a top priority in their homes, offices, and neighborhoods. Whereas promoting emergency preparedness in our families, workplaces, and schools can help minimize both physical and economic damage throughout City of Blanco should a disaster occur. And whereas the City of Blanco encourages all residents to participate in preparedness activities and are asked to review preparedness information at ready.gov and to sign up to receive emergency alerts via Reserve 911 to become more knowledgeable and prepared. Now, therefore, I, Rachel Lumpy, as Mayor of the City of Blanco, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2022 as Preparedness Month in the City of Blanco, Texas, and encourage all residents, businesses, and schools to develop their own emergency preparedness and resiliency plans, thereby creating a safer and more prepared city of Blanco.
Will this be published in the newspaper?
Yes. Well, it will be published on our website.
Not be good to put in the newspaper too.
We can, yeah. And I did that, we usually do that at the September meeting, but since it is for the whole month of September, we decided to bring it to this meeting, so it covers the whole month. Going to move on to the hearing on appeal of vested rights determination vapor genius. Mr. Tuggy.
Mayor, Council, Tim Tuggy, your city attorney. As noted, this is an appeal on the determination of vested rights requested by Vapor Genius. Their attorney and their ownership is present today. I simply, before introducing them or letting them have the stage, note the record that you have before you. First, you have a copy of the relevant city ordinance, which covers the subject matter that is of concerns this appeal. Secondly, you have basically the document, it is the subject of the appeal, July 11 letter from Warren Escovy, city administrator, to the attorneys for Vapor Genius, stating a denial of vested rights request and the grounds therefore. I'm sorry, I skipped something. Prior to that, you have a copy of a letter from them, Vapor Genius's counsel, requesting a vested rights determination, setting the grounds therefore. Then the letter of denying those rights from the city of Blanco, and then an extensive letter from their counsel, which sets out the written statement of their appeal. This hearing tonight is for the purpose of elaborating on their appeal and any other matters that they'd like to bring forward for hearing. There'll be no action from council tonight. It's posted that way. Once this hearing is concluded, council under our code will have 30 days to make a decision on this appeal. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Eric Gomez, one of my attorney colleagues, and he'll introduce the next step.
Honorable Council, Honorable Mayor, my name is Eric Gomez, and I am the attorney for Vapor Genius. Thank you first for allowing us this space to speak. That's part of the great things about being able to be in a small community like this, is to be able to see you all face to face, to see the community that we are trying to be a part of, and we don't take that for granted. As Mr. Tuggy correctly stated, we have appealed a denial of a vested rights determination, and he also correctly stated that we were very thorough in listing the reasons why we wanted to appeal. And rather than telling you what you already know and basically reading from a letter and going point by point, I would like to just say that letter is on file. You have it. And instead, I would like to turn the floor over to Mr. Paul Dunn, who is the owner and operator of Vapor Genius, so he could speak to you about his intentions, his purposes, and how he sees his role in his community. Mr. Dunn.
Council, thank you very much for providing an opportunity for me to be here tonight and visit with you guys. I hear the concerns of the citizens and they're valid concerns, basically. I think, hopefully to kind of dispel our intentions, it maybe provide kind of a history of how we got in the business to begin with. And hopefully that'll, lay aside some of the concerns or fears or whatever. In 2004, my mother, who was my rock, passed away of end-stage emphysema from smoking all of her life. And so that was really tough. 7 years later, we found our son on Thanksgiving Day smoking on the roof of our house. And so, just seeing my mom go through everything that she had gone through was and now seeing my son smoking, following in her footsteps, it was it was tough. It was really tough. And so, we started, talking, reading, stuff like that, trying to figure out how we could help him get off the cigarettes. He came to us and said, hey, what if I were to try vaping? And so we started doing some research, and, it appeared, based on the research, that vaping was probably a better option than smoking. I witnessed throughout my life what had happened to my mom with the smoking thing, and so we knew where that was going to end. So anyway, so he started vaping. At 14 years old, he was struggling smoking cigarettes to go up and down the stairs of our house. He was, would breathe hard every time he would go up the stairs. Within a month of vaping, he was no longer breathing heavy when he'd go up and down the stairs in our home. That's kind of the backdrop of how we got into the business. He designed an electronic cigarette. We had it manufactured, for him out of an aerospace engineering company out of California. And so that was kind of the backdrop for us getting into the business. And it really was the thrust of helping people get off smoking, and provide what appears to be a healthier option. If you're faced with the option of not doing either of them, obviously don't do either. But if you're smoking, at least from my experience, and from my research, it's certainly, likely a better alternative than smoking. From there, we kind of got into several other products that help people with anxiety. We've got CBD wellness products and stuff like that help people that are in severe pain and everything. And so that's kind of the direction that we're wanting to come into the community, from that vantage point. And so again, hopefully that kind of helps clarify our intentions. We check IDs on everybody that appears that they might be under 25 years of age. So we're not here to get youth hooked on, on e-cigarettes or anything like that. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to help. And we feel the communities that we're in currently, that we've been able to be a positive contributor to the community from that perspective. So anyways, thank you guys very much. I appreciate the time.
Thank you. Okay, we will be moving on to new business. Item 1, consideration, discussion, and take action on approval of insurance contract in the amount of $156,960.48 for fiscal year 2022-2023 through Texas Municipal League between Blue Cross Blue Shield and the City of Blanco. Ms. Ricks.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are y'all doing? Hopefully I'm coming with great news for y'all since we've done the budget and we know our numbers pretty much. Currently, we have Humana, along with Gap Insurance, our vision, our dental, and all that. So I've done an analysis with our current plan and all the providers that we have and how much we pay per month and per year. Can you flip to the first? Yes. So right here shows all the plans that we currently have with all our staff. So the $14,441 is what we pay per month, and the $173 is what we pay per year. So that's currently what we're paying towards health, vision, and all of that. Can you go to the next slide, please? I have done some research. We have a third party that has helped us get Humana that we currently have. And I also, since I came from other cities, I know how to go out and look for competitive insurance plans. So that's pretty much what I did. We had a couple of good plans that came in, but again, we had 12% increase in the budget that I put for insurance increase just for
a cushion, so we knew that we wouldn't bust that. But I actually reached out. I had worked at other cities, and we worked with TML Health. So I reached out to TML Health, the contact that I knew there, and we got some quotes for us. So they actually came back with 4 quotes for our health that you can see up here. And I pretty much kept the same staff to what we currently pay, and it would wipe out. And all I did on the first column is put health and gap, because that would wipe out the health and gap charges that we currently pay. So with the plans, myself and all the department heads here in the city went over and chose the best plan that would work for the staff that we currently have. And it's a lot better plan than we currently have. This one would be a $2,000 deductible, $4,000 out-of-pocket max. The gap part of it right there, it's not gap insurance, but it would be 20% between your deductible and your out-of-pocket max. So for the 2,000 portion to get up to 4,000, you'd have to pay 20% of those bills until you reach 4,000, and then you're completely covered for whatever happens if you had a traumatic bill that was quite large. So with that being said, that comes out, like if you saw on the first slide, it was 14 with all the plans, it was like 14,000 something. Just for the insurance here, it came out to $12,479.52. So we're actually saving, if we went with this plan that's highlighted up there, the code 2K4KER, we would save per month $2,473.43. We didn't even touch, if we go with this plan for medical, dental, TML will provide all the same benefits that we had. The plans will be better. Pretty much over the whole year, we would save a total of $16,343 and some change, and we didn't even touch the 12% at all. So we have that out there. We didn't touch it. We actually came below that completely. So if you go to the next slide. So right here, it's showing pretty much, like I said, the $14,000 is what we currently pay, and it has all the plans, the health, the gap, the dental, the vision, and the life. If we went with TML and we chose the same things, but we don't need the gap insurance, we went with TML, health, dental, vision, and life, it would be per month $13,080.04. So per month, we would be saving, with all the plans included, $1,361. So adding that up together for the 12 months that we'd be saving that per month, it comes out to that $16,343. Can you go to the next one, please? So here is the plan that TML provides. It's just a little breakdown more of, we currently pay for Humana, just the health, we pay $749 per employee. This plan, even, and it is a better plan, we would be paying $744.60. So you can tell it went down. And the plan, like I said, is a lot better. If you go to the next one. This is the dental that TML provides. Like I have out there for the current dental plan that we currently have Dental Select. We pay for employee $35.13. It did go up per like employee just themselves to $37.64. But if you calculate that all out per what plans the people have here, because I kind of kept the plans the same to compare, we would actually save $88.82 for the month. And then right here is just the plan explaining kind of more in detail about what the dental plan for this one is. Can you go to the next one? Thank you. And this is the vision that TML provides. So currently we pay for employee on our current plan, $7.88 per person. It would go up to $8.94, but again, per everybody's choices and what they choose, overall we'd save $2.73, which again, that all comes up to that $1,361 per month, which we're saving a total of $16,343 for the year. And again, we didn't touch any of the 12% that I put in there as wiggle room because I didn't know what we were going to come in with. So we actually came out better. And like I said, all the department heads met together to go over this, to choose the best plan that would work for our whole entire staff. And I just want to let you know, I did check back with Humana, and I wanted to know what would our rates be if we just kept going with what we had. So like I said, we pay $749 per employee just for employee only. They came back up 33% higher. For one employee only, it would be $997 per month if we keep the current plan we're on. So that was just, I mean, that's way beyond my 12%. So I mean, there's no there's no choice here, really. We had other choices, but like I said, this is the best choice that it would fit our city and definitely help save on the budget to where we had that deficit, we could bring it down a little because again, we didn't even touch the 12% and we're saving 16,000 over the year. And I did bring aboard, right here is Derek. He is from TML Health. He's my friend. Like I said, I know him from other cities, so he's used to dealing with me. But we do have third-party people that has helped us with Humana in the past. So if we do go with TML, we will no longer need the third party. It will just transfer over to TML, and it would be myself and Derek that the city would have to deal with. But pretty much, if y'all have any questions for me, or if y'all want to know more about the details of it, Derek's here for that.
Is this an ASO? Is this ASO through TML?
No, it's not an ASO.
It's not fully funded. Okay, interesting. Thank you.
When would this begin?
This would be effective 11/1. So if it's passed today and y'all like this plan, then we can proceed with that. We'll do the open enrollment. I just wanted y'all to know budget-wise and the numbers and the comparisons of what we came in with. And if we stayed with this plan, the Humana, how crazy then it wouldn't even fit in the budget that we had.
I can't tell you how refreshing it is to not come and ask us for more money that wasn't in the budget.
No, we didn't even use the money that was in our budget. So,
And I just want to, I know we talked about it, but just for the others to know that you said that you're comfortable taking that role.
yes. So like I said, we have a third party right now that deals with Humana, and along with the Dental Select and the other things that we have, we would no longer need them. I'm used to doing this. This is kind of my thing. I enjoy it. And like I said, I'm used to working with Derek, so he knows how to deal with me and my craziness. So I have no problem. It's fun. It's crunchy numbers.
And it's better coverage, Sasha?
It's way better. Currently, our health plan, we have a $2,500 deductible and a $6,500 out-of-pocket max. And then we have that gap insurance. And a lot of people don't even understand about the gap insurance. So we're paying that gap insurance. And I know just with the employees that we have right now, I'm actually helping 2 of them because they're not utilizing, the city's paying for the gap insurance and they don't understand what the gap insurance is. So I'm making that go away. And like I said, it'll be a $2,000 deductible, out-of-pocket max $400. I mean, compared to our size in other cities, that's a really great plan. Yes, it really is.
Department heads, chief, everybody's happy with it?
Everybody.
Yeah, this is.
Okay, so good to hear.
One thing I want to explain is the reason why this is such a good plan, why this ends up being a savings to us is Sasha really worked hard and worked with TML to look at the claims and really drill down on that. I think in the past, with the claims being low, I think the thought was that we could get a better deal, and that's what we did here. So a lot of that, the kudos goes to Sasha, but a lot of that goes to TML being a really good partner. They partner with us on a lot of projects. So this will be a really good marriage here.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
Yeah.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the recommendation and enter an insurance contract on the amount of $156,960.48 for the fiscal year 22-23 through the TML that's proposed.
Councilmember Smith has made a motion to approve the insurance contract through TML between Blue Cross Blue Shield and the city of Blanco. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mayor Pro Tem Barron has seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor? The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Sasha.
We're going to move on to item 2, consideration, discussion, and take action on approval of SCADA upgrade replacement for Blanco distribution system at a cost of $151,820. Take action on approval of Inframark funding the project through a work authorization.
Guess that's my turn.
So
So there goes that budget. Here comes Damon. I'll just exit gracefully now. So, well,
story of my life. As y'all are aware from our last discussion, last month, or earlier this month, the SCADA system needs updating and replaced. It's over 20 years old and it's reached its end of life, basically. We are holding on by the skin of our teeth. We are checking it literally every hour because we have no alarm call outs. We have no warning systems at all. So whoever's on call is checking their phone every hour throughout the night, day, whatever it takes to make sure we don't run into any issues. So that being said, y'all have the quote in front of you. That includes basically bringing everything up to date where it needs to be. And I guess if y'all have any questions, I'll answer them for you.
What is the timeline for getting this done?
So right now, the hardest problem is with the rest of the world is microchips, which is what's in most of the PLC input output cards. So we are looking December before we can get those if he orders them. But they can go ahead and start with other stuff. So when that does get here, it's pretty much plug and play. They can have the boxes built, the electronics put in, basically everything but the IO cards.
And this does both water and wastewater plants.
The wastewater's done. This will finish off the water side.
Okay.
The only thing on the wastewater side that is not done is the lift stations. And we'll wait until hopefully we get a new one constructed before we discuss that. I know Councilman Smith asked about Infomark funding. I've talked with my VP, talked with Ryan, who some of y'all met. Infomark, we can do what we call a work authorization, which is what we do with other communities, where we will basically put up the funding and then it's their work authorization. There's some wordage in there. Whatever reason, contract gets canceled, yada, 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 city's still responsible, this, that, and the other. And it's carried over a 3-year term. And it would be 20% interest. 20% interest carried over 3 years.
Okay.
If you wanted Infomark to fund it.
Your carrying cost is 20%?
Sir?
One more time for those of us.
So the reason it's so high is, one, we're not a bank. Two, it costs us money to carry that money. We got admin costs. We got other things that we've got to associate with that also. That's why it's higher than going out and getting a loan or something of that nature. Because we're not financing it. We're basically being a partner trying to help the city out.
20% mark.
Right. Right.
And then there are
Wait,
two
is it
options.
20% markup or it's 20% interest on?
It's 20% markup. It's 20% markup. So that'll be basically, so it won't be accrued, or it's just, it's added to the total. And then that, so if you take the amount, add the 20%, divide that over 36 months, 180, about $5,000 a month extra on top of what y'all are paying.
Right. So is that in this quoted price, or is that's an addition?
That's an additional. The quoted price is what you've seen. So we're just being transparent.
Okay.
That's what that's what we got from the vendor. And then we would do a separate work authorization, which is what asked to be voted on, for that the Warren could sign on.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you're looking at a cost of $151,710. The 20% would make it an additional $30,000 paid over 3 years. We have about $1.2 million in our, not general fund, but in the additional funds for our enterprise. The thought might be from council that you don't want to use that money, because that money goes for things like if we ever have things like droughts, if we ever have situations where things break down. So that's what that's for. But if it's an issue of not wanting to pay the 20% markup, then we do actually have the money. But it's really more of a decision on your part, whether you want to have Infomark hold the note, or if you want to just use up the money that we have, or we can actually look at trying to do our own financing. So, you really have two options. We could use the existing cash that we have in our reserve fund. We can look at having them be the lender, or we can go out for just a separate loan. So that's really but it's an option that he's providing.
So is the first thing that we need to do, if we have time to we need to get this ordered and done. So we know we have to do this. So if we had Infomark go ahead and do it, do we have time to then make a decision on the financing later? Do we need to make that decision about financing before we direct him to go ahead?
So the vendor will request a certain percentage up front for parts and materials. For us, because we work with them so much and we have a relationship with them, they are letting us do 20% up front, and then normally it's 50%. So there would be an upfront cost. And then the reason I recommended the 3-year plan is because that includes your cellular service and everything else that for the 3 years. It's money you're going to have to pay anyway, but this way it goes ahead and ties it all up in one sum. Because what we're doing is we're going from an analog antenna, radio antenna, and we're going to a cellular service. It's more secure and it's more.
But that's in the 151,000.
Right. That's that includes a 3-year cellular service also.
So if we were to fund this out of pocket direct at 151,710, then we would have additional charges for the cellular service?
Once the 3 years is over, yes, sir. That's
Okay, but the first 3 years is 151,710.
so the first 3 years is covered in that 151. Yes.
Okay.
And that's what that 3-year is talking about there.
Council, by the way, these different options are in the master Infomark contract. This process is
Well,
set up, including the 20% option.
Right.
That's one of the options we have.
Right.
I think my thing is, my feeling is we need to get this work order approved so you can order and get it done. The question then is we have the money to do the 20% down to get you going. What we decide to do with the rest is. Right. So, and we don't have to decide that tonight. We can find out, we get along. But as long as it's ordered and it's done.
And I do want to let y'all know that our engineer and our SCADA VP looked this quote over. He called them. Infomark also owns a few SCADA companies, but they're in other states. They can't really provide the service that we need here. This is a company that we deal with that's out of Georgetown. So they actually came back and said, hey, y'all need to throw in a firewall. It was an additional $2,000. So the bid's actually a little bit more than what you got there is the right bid though, Mr. Smith. So it's not 2,000 on top of that. That's including the extra firewall. Hold on, man. I'm digging a grave here. So,
but Damon, so if we went with the 151 3-year contracts bundled in there, but there are continuing costs of approximately 4,000, 5,000 a year.
It'd be around 5,000 a
Once
year.
that 3-year
It'd be
term
around
is over.
5,000 a month over the next 3 years, added to your
5,000 a month.
monthly invoice from
Okay.
Infomark now. And we can, if the 20% is too much, I can go back and if y'all still want to do that option, I can talk to my superiors.
I can't speak for everybody, but that it didn't pallet well.
I understand.
And I've been on the other side, so I understand what an overhead is and what services you provide, and we're totally appreciative of that. But if you don't mind going back, can I do this or do we have to?
Sure.
If you don't mind going back and see if they have another offer, and at the same time, Warren can go look at our other options for some third party.
Do you have something you'd be more comfortable with? I mean,
I'm gonna let you do that.
Okay.
I'm gonna let
okay.
you come back to us, and then Warren come back and say, we can go.
I do know that the lowest we will go would be 15%. And for Mark, I've never done a work authorization where we've gone lower than 15%.
So I'm going back to the whole idea of can we get the ball rolling on this without making a decision on the financing, because that's my most important thing is I want us to save as much money as we can for the city. We can go get money from a bank for less and pay it off, or if we can't, we decide to do it, that's fine. But I don't want this delayed for another 3 weeks for you to get the order in to get this thing going. So how would that work?
So the option that we would probably look at is if we can't agree on a percentage, then the city will pay the whatever 20 to 50% down, and then we'll look at the options. And I'll come back to you on September 13th. But we'll-
That's what I'd like
Larger
to do.
amount, we take funds out of that balance.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
But we're not going
That's
to
what I'd like
stop.
to do.
We really have to have a SCADA system.
I know.
We
that's
can't
why
have
I'm-
guys babysitting it every hour.
They have a motion to authorize the ordering of the SCADA system
Yes,
and authorizing 20% down payment with financing to be presented.
Yes, sir.
perfect.
Is that right? Those three?
What he said.
I'll make one similar to that.
Okay, I'm not making a motion.
I love when you
I'll
do,
second
you
that.
know, write that down. It's so nice though. So like yours. Go ahead.
You need.
This is going to be a complicated one.
No, it's not gonna be too
Okay.
complicated for me.
That was just so nice and nice. I just went there. I just believe that.
Yes, I'm looking for a motion.
I'm gonna say at this point that I make a motion that we approve the replacement of the SCADA system at $151,820. And that we authorize Warren to go and initiate a down payment no more than 50%.
Yes, sir.
And get this billing, and you can withdraw those funds out of the necessary reserve
And then come back to council.
and come back to council. At the same time, Joe, you can come back and you can confirm your 15, and you can give us other options, and we'll make a decision on the final funding at that time. If we expedite things, we'll do it now.
Yes, but I don't think that's wrong. Look at that motion. Okay, let's have a vote on whose motion we want.
Yeah. Like that.
Okay, was that your motion? Okay, Councilmember Smith has made a motion to approve the replacement of the SCADA system at a cost of $151,870 with the city admin authorizing 50% up to 50% down payment.
And we'll address funding.
And we will address funding after that.
And it's 151,710.
Oh, okay, your agenda's wrong.
My agenda's wrong.
Oh,
Is there a second?
second.
Mayor Pro Tem Barron has seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? The motion carries unanimously. Okay, we are going to move on. We are going to actually break into a brief executive session. So at 6:43, we're going to be talking to consult with our attorney about Vapor Genius appeal.